Welcome to Gloria's Gab Live. I have an exciting show for you today. I want you to meet some of the people behind the scenes at community newspapers, and they help make all of it happen. I've got Rochelle Bramajan. Rochelle is one of our producers,
Yes.
and Dani Quevedo. And Dani does everything. She posts stories. You know, there isn't anything she can't do. So we're going to get we'll learn a little bit more about them, their background. Before we start, though, we need to thank South Florida PBS. Week after week, our sponsors, we love South Florida PBS. Great programs for kids. Ken Burns. By the way, if you join now, they have all these live concert tickets available to you. And if you join, you also get one of these once a month, and it tells you everything that's going on, Health Channel news, everything. And listen to some of these things that they're offering. One of the concerts is Music of ABBA, Benice, Mannheim Steamroller, Under the Street Lamp, Fab Four, Straight No Chaser, The Doo-Wop Project, and Riverdance. Cool, huh?
Sounds like a lot of fun.
So anyway, if you're not a member, join. So who do we start with? Okay, I'm going to start with you because she's the most bashful of the two.
I am.
But you are so creative, and you're a great producer. But on top of that, you're a makeup artist.
I am.
So how did you come here?
Well, I've been in broadcasting and journalism from middle school. So
No way.
For a long time. I don't know why. I just had a knack for it. I guess because I was a TV kid growing up. I used to love the TV and watching TV. So when it was time to pick something to do, I wanted to be behind the camera. So it started there. And from being in that scene, I met a lot of people who are always in front of the camera, and makeup was something I also enjoyed. So it collabed into me becoming a makeup artist for a lot of people who are on TV and do film. And
you do elaborate makeup.
Yes, I do.
It's like if anybody wants to do makeup for Halloween coming up. Yeah, but it must take you forever to do that too, right?
Yes, it is a lengthy process depending on what looks, I have to do, but it's so fun. Fun.
So, and Dani, tell me, what brought you to community newspapers?
So my partner works at the newspaper. That was my little kind of gateway into the community here at the paper. Yeah. But I went to school with Rochelle. We went to Miami-Dade College at CDT for the film program. So we went to school together, and I studied film. I didn't start as early as you did. I knew that I wanted to do film my senior year of high school. I didn't even know what really went down on sets or anything like that for movies. And I think I always had an eye for visual stuff. I really like art. I like setting everything in a way where it really tells a story. And I'm excited to be at the paper. It's a lot different than movies, but it's definitely adjacent to that.
Well, the great thing about Michael and Grant, they bring in people with talent, and they let you develop it. Yeah. And who would have thought? You would be producing. You produce shows also, haven't you?
I have, yeah. They brought me on. I produce some shows. I'm kind of like on the lower end of the ladder when it comes to producing, but I do want to do more shows.
That's because you're doing so many other things.
So many other things, yes.
Yeah, right. So, we're so lucky to have you, though.
Thank you.
So, and what did you, first of all, I didn't know that you both went to Miami-Dade.
No,
I didn't know you knew each other.
Yeah, literally.
Is that right?
I think didn't we graduate the same year?
We might have.
AS? I don't know.
I'm not sure. It took me a little longer to do my degree, so maybe I graduated after.
No, I'm not sure.
Oh, well,
but classmates
happens.
for sure.
The 5-year degree instead of the 4-year degree. My daughter did that. That happens. So tell me, you've got that other business, but what do you aspire to do? Like, do you have like a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, that kind of stuff?
That's a great question because from your first point, I didn't get to mention on how I got involved in how did I get to the newspaper.
Oh, that's right.
I kind of just talked about how I got into media, but how I got to the newspaper was through my school's job counselor. They send me like places where I could use my degree, and community newspapers was one of the places, and it just worked out perfectly. Because what I want to do in the future is definitely working at a station or a studio for sure. More as a department lead, more as a person who is in charge of what is premiering on, our station or channel. Like similar to the South Florida PBS, I would be shout out to Janesse Esqui.
Shout out to Janesse. Yes,
I love Janesse. We love Janesse. I would be someone who is in charge of, selecting the programming that's being shown.
That's awesome.
That's great.
No, yeah, that's great. And it's not like you necessarily do that here to that degree, but I definitely see a lot of that energy in the office.
I don't know. That's why I thought it would be a good fit if I can get some, baby steps into.
And we're lucky that you're not the only ones we've gotten from high school and from colleges. We're pretty good about taking care of interns,
Yeah.
And we lucked out with our producer today is Alex. And Alex is awesome.
Alex is awesome.
You'll be next on Alex.
Yeah, they were both great people to learn from when I started too.
Yeah.
So.
All the producers on.
So what do you see in your future?
I would like to be in the art department for films. I've done a couple of movies already. I designed a feature in, I think it was last year, 2023. It was called Fallen Fruit, and it premiered at the film festival earlier this year.
Falling Fruit?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
That's amazing. And what was it about? Fallen Fruit?
Yeah, Fallen Fruit. So it was, it centers around a young gay man, kind of like college aged. It's set around a time that there's a hurricane, but it's about his sort of coming of age and learning more about life and things like that when he's growing up. So it's kind of like navigating that experience.
Wow. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and it was a feature, so it was long. Lots of pages to read.
Oh my goodness, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's something you aspire to do in the future?
Yes, I definitely do.
Well,
awesome.
I can see you two working together.
Definitely. I mean, we
putting her
we have a background of working together.
We have. Rochelle has been a great help when it comes to art department stuff. She's always been very supportive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm definitely. She knows she has a forever partner if she ever needed help.
Oh my gosh.
But I don't want to bother her with stuff anymore.
No, but I love that you're both working here, and we are so lucky to have you.
Thank you. I wanted to ask Rochelle, what's your favorite makeup to do that you've done recently or in general?
Oh, that's a good question.
My favorite type of makeup would probably be like, well, I guess you could say like just disfiguring people. Like I did a broken nose, which was super fun to do. It was like great to see, everyone's reaction to it, and like how like they were like, "Are you okay? Like, look, you're hurt for real." And she wasn't hurt at all. Obviously, it was just makeup. But so I'm like, I think that's my most like that's the one I like to do the most is the
making people look
scars and like
like they've been in an accident.
Beat up. I mean, I definitely like colorful looks too. I just don't get to do colorful looks a lot. But
what's the hardest thing you've ever done?
Oh, that's a good question.
The hardest thing, probably, Dani's familiar with this, when I had to change, like do an alien look. That was probably the hardest.
Oh, because you had to be creative on top of that.
Yeah, and
it wasn't like make a nose. Broken.
Yeah, you have to be very creative, and it's hard to make a human not look human. Like a human is always gonna look very human-like unless I, pile on, the stuff. So that was hard for me. I was a beginner at the time, so that was probably the most hard. And it was a big body. Like you're changing their whole face, neck,
Oh my gosh.
Lengthy process.
Yeah, lengthy process.
Yeah.
So that's probably the hardest.
Yeah. Well, that's great. So what else you want to share with everybody? I know you had some questions you thought would be interesting for people to know about you.
I thought it would be fun to talk about like what we do in our free time apart from just our careers.
Yeah.
But I also want to know from you what brought you into media and your
I
story.
grew up in media. My dad was an admin in the 1950s. Admin, right?
Wow.
But my dad had the oldest ad agency at one point in the state of Florida, and he sold his ad agency, and the people that bought it from him stole the clients and never paid him. Meantime, he'd gotten into reciprocal trade and barter, and turns out he never even went after those people. Ultimately, they died an early death for some reason, just kind of karma. But he ended up having a huge barter agency, and I learned advertising and barter from my dad. So kind of helped me in the nonprofit field, because when I took over the Junior Orange Bowl for one, when I became their executive director, they were in debt, and I used my reciprocal trade barter to get us everything we needed.
Wow.
And that we didn't have to pay for. And but I do that all the time. And then we did it with the newspaper too. We do it on occasion. Yeah. So but it's a creative way to help people in their business. Yeah. So it's something I like to do.
That's beautiful.
So,
Thank you for sharing that.
So interesting.
Yeah. So it's in my blood. And then nonprofits became in my blood, and then Michael and Grant, just nourished it.
Yeah, right. They are very nourishing.
They are, yeah. I'm telling you, we've got the best bosses in the state of Florida.
Yeah.
I tell everybody that, and they go, "Oh yeah, sure,"
agree.
But it's true.
No,
and they complement each other so beautifully too.
Yeah, there's definitely a balance, yin and yang.
Yeah, and it's a happy place to come. Don't you like coming to work?
Yeah.
It's great when you really look forward to coming to work. And I think we all feel that way.
Yeah.
Even on those stressful days when everything's late.
Yeah,
literally.
It is a newspaper.
Yeah. That's true. It's a part of the business. It's hard to find a place that you're happy to go into, especially.
And we all get along.
Yeah,
everybody we all like each other.
We do. It's a little chaotic, but that's just the nature of things.
Yeah, the nature of the business. Yeah, right.
Yeah, a lot of people can't say the same, but yeah, like we really do all get along. And it's just how like we get to meet so many different people. Like I was telling my parents that like I would not have, and Michael told me this too when I started, that I was going to meet so many people, and I was like,
is it the truth? They just walk through the door.
It's the truth. Yeah, it's like every single week you're meeting
politicians, you're meeting people, CEOs of companies. It's
community
leaders,
civic
leaders. Yeah. And then think of all the events that you guys help with. Come on, Casa Cuba and Anna Capri. That we just had something at Anna Capri with the people running for sheriff.
How did that go? I didn't
get to go either.
It went good. It was packed. The place was packed. It was.
It's always packed, that place.
The food was delicious. I got to eat some yummy yums.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it was my first time at the restaurant. But I love Italian food, so Anna Capri was very welcoming to everybody.
Yeah,
but it was fun.
So nice.
So
owner.
So but think of it. The governors. We've had presidential candidates. We've had, senators. There isn't anybody we haven't had here.
No one.
So, but it's a fun place to be.
It is. Soon we have an event with Blackstone.
Oh yeah.
I think it might be next week or the week after.
Coming up. You're right.
Yeah, a breakfast with Blackstone. So that's a big one too.
So let's wrap this up. Thank you guys so much for coming on, and we'll have to do this again. See how you're coming along with your makeup and your production and your movies. Are you going to do another one?
With Gerald, who also works here. He's also a producer. He's a writer-director. He also went to school with us.
Yeah.
I tend to work with him, so maybe in the future we're working on some stuff behind the scenes. So we'll see.
Cool. That's great. Okay. Well, thanks again for for joining me today and helping me out. And again, South Florida PBS, thank you for sponsoring us once again. And until next time, make a positive impact in your community and try to make a difference every day. Be kind and carry a smile always.
Thank you, Gloria.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.